Sky Squad, we back in the building. But I just got a question for y'all first. How many of you in the chatterization are ready for the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3 reunion? I mean, just let a brother know if you're ready for the Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3 reunion. Carlos King has let us know, okay? This is his current mood after filming the Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. He said the cast never disappoints, did not disturb him for a week. Let me tell you something. I have some high expectations for this reunion, and I just cannot wait to see what they bring. Because if the reunion is anything like the trailer for the rest of the season, we know that this reunion is about to be lit. What's going on, Sky Squad? We are back in the building, and we are about to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 13, y'all. If you are in the chatterization right now, and as you're writing it, I can see that you are. Let me know where you're watching from, because you know we nosy around these parts, and we like to know where the squad is watching, where you reside, what you're doing, what you're sipping on, are you brunching today? Let a brother know in the chatterization, okay? We got Chicago in the building, Bowie, Maryland. Miami is in the place. London is back in the building. Come on, I see y'all, London. Vegas, cha-ching, ching, baby. East Baltimore, be more, baby. Wilmington, North Carolina. Hey, Cleveland is in the house. Memphis, Houston, Texas, Tampa Bay. I see y'all, Vegas. Y'all representing today. New Haven, Connecticut, Birmingham, Alabama, Indianapolis. Moaning from Philly, baby. I see you. The whole Caribbean is watching, baby. Yes. Okay, come on, brunch in Charlottesville. I see you. I see you. California, ATL is in the place, okay? I thought I saw Dublin. I thought I saw Dublin, okay? Richie, I'm off Crenshaw and Stalker by the old liquor store in the West Los Angeles. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Miami. Okay, DC, Landover in the building. Y'all is up in here today. We got Scotland is in the place as well. Barbados. I see y'all. Listen, we discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 13, y'all. And we are going to get into some things today. I'm so glad and excited that you all decided to join us today for this discussion, and that you are in the chatterization, and you are all just excited today. Maybe it's because it's this Sunday, the day that the Lord has made. We's in here, y'all. We's in here. We made it another week, and we about to head into another one, and we're going to conquer that thing, ain't we? Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 13, A Date with Destiny, okay? Got a lot of destiny in this episode. I wasn't mad at it because I felt like we finally needed some more destiny because I needed to understand some more things about her. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're going to rate the episode. That's right. Hit that like button. Come on now. Hit them likes. Hit them likes. I'm so jealous of you. My eyebrows are the worst, man. They are the absolute worst. They uneven. They bushy. They all over the place. But thank you. I appreciate you. Go ahead and rate that episode down in the chatterization. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Yeah, Nikki. I'm on the same page. 8.5. Destiny is indeed growing on me. 9. We got yes, rejoice, baby. Rejoice. 9, 9.5, 9.5, 9.5. I see y'all 9.5. So we're around the same ballpark. And again, for me at 8.5, actually, I'm going to round it up to a 9. I'm going to round it up to a 9 because, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm rounding it up to a 9 solid is because I thought that this conversation, the conversations that they're having on this show are so important in life in general, but it is so nice to see just these conversations happening in a community of color. I just got to tell you, I'm not into real estate, although I am considering getting a real estate license just because I want to know more about it. But to hear these levels of conversation, to me, is so inspiring. And to understand that these people are in their late 30s, 40s, and maybe or like late 40s and 50s. I'm just like in awe of the things that they're accomplishing. And I relate to some of the things and the struggles that they're talking about this season. And exactly, I feel like they're going deeper. You know what I'm saying? And I just really like that they're having these conversations. And that's why I wanted to raise it. Well, the real reason I wanted to raise it was because Martell had a very transparent. Now, Tiffany talked about being transparent, but I felt like it was actually Martell who was probably the most transparent in this episode, because to sit there and have a conversation with Maurice about his bad credit and to talk about, and Kimmy was not even there. I just didn't realize. I just realized that we didn't see no Kimmy today. Well, I saw the episode just a few minutes ago. So, but for him to open up and have that conversation, revealing his bankruptcy, really talking about it and really trying to get some help with it, I just was like, wow, like that is huge right there. I mean, because typically you don't see a lot of that. I feel like the only time we've really seen somebody really be transparent like that about their bankruptcy, really for real, is Real Housewives of New York with Sonia Morgan, who has been going through and through with her situation. But to see this Black man just be, so open and honest. And I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about him, but I just thought it was such a dynamic conversation. I was excited about it. Not to say that I'm excited about his misfortune. I'm just excited that they were able to talk about it, because I think on so many levels, so many of us can relate. Even if you haven't been through a divorce, clearly some of us have had bad credit problems. You know what I'm saying? Clearly we have had to work on our credit, so we understand the credit game. You know what I mean? It's a Different World says, good morning, Richie. With Martell exposing the bankruptcy, now we know the real motivation behind him wanting custody of the kids. It's a different world. You might be on to something. So I do like that they're having these types of conversations, and we'll touch on it a bit more as we get to that part of the episode. So let's go ahead and get through it. Oh, wait. We got another. Miss B More ATLian says they both filed bankruptcy jointly. I didn't know that. I did not know that. But Miss B More ATLian Stan says they did. I didn't know that. What I did know was that divorce can typically, lead to a lot of financial issues and hardships for both parties. Absolutely, Neo, who says financial wellness is a conversation needed more in the Black community, needs to start at 16 years old. And I want to say this, financial wellness, I like the way that you phrase that, because when you look online, you can almost believe that everybody is balling, right? If you look on social media, you can see a lot of people who, do a lot of flexing and whatnot. And if they are living that lifestyle, that is their absolute right to do so. But it can almost make people feel as though when they don't have it, that they're not living their best lives. When the fact of the matter is, really, we need to talk about financial wellness at younger ages so that people, i.e., our kids and whatnot, and younger generations have a better idea of how to start the financial wellness journey. But I could go on and on about that for a whole different conversation. But let's get into it. We have Destiny is at her cover shoot with Hype magazine. As you guys may know, Leah Diaz. Destiny pronounced her name Leah Diaz or something like that, but I thought it was Diaz. I don't know. Anyway, Leah, who was on Married to Medicine Los Angeles for one season, she has bought Hype Hair magazine. So it's good to see that the magazine is still thriving. It's interesting to see magazines in this day and age as compared to when we used to see. Chime in the chatterization if you used to get Word Up magazines. Might be telling on a couple of ages, but we don't care around here because y'all know how we do. But I used to definitely get the Word Up magazines, was cutting out the posters and stuff like that, putting them on my wall and all that good stuff like that. Yes, y'all know. So I feel like magazines, I don't know if I'm not saying that they're going out of existence, because I could still go into a Barnes and Noble, which is one of my favorite places to go and hang out, to be quite honest with you, because I am a nerd. But they used to just be, magazines was just lit. And so it's interesting to see, a Black entrepreneur who is, and I have a friend that runs a magazine as well, but it's more of a digital magazine. It's interesting to see this magazine is still getting or making waves in this day and age. And so I think that's something to be applauded. And I just wanted to mention that. Absolutely. I love a good magazine, but I'm also a book person. I like to hold a book in my hands. I just feel like it's just something different about it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. Destiny's father comes to the shoot, and it's nice to see this side of her. We get to see a little bit more of who Destiny is, her family, which is definitely needed on this show, because we really didn't get much from her husband, or even on Right On magazine. Yes. So yeah, we didn't get to see, much of her husband. So it's nice that we at least get to see her father. Letitia stops by, and they recap the Vegas trip. They realize that they don't know that much about so-called transparent Tiffany, okay? And they shade her because she allegedly forced that man to marry her on the baseball field, i.e., she surprised her husband with the proposal and marriage, I guess, on the baseball field. And who gonna say no to that, right? Who gonna say no to it? Because if you say no to it, you're kind of making her, you're kind of embarrassing her a little bit. Sharon J says, if Martell was not cheating, he might be in a better financial situation. Well, there you go. Thank you for that super chat, boo. Appreciate it. Destiny talks about Mel continuously taking Tiffany's side and having a sidebar conversation with Tiffany so that they don't have any outside interference from Melody, because she basically says that she wants Melody to let these two grown women fix their own issues, and they don't need Melody as the mother hen. Now, I did sort of tell y'all in my mind, it had been feeling like Melody had been taking on the mother hen / Big Sister Almighty role, and Big Sister Almighty, not to be confused with Giselle, Big Sister Almighty, because I feel like they take the role in two different ways, but they're kind of similar in how they try to kind of manage situations, right? Melody has been managing the situation between Destiny and Tiffany, and it ain't really been working out for either one of their benefits. So it's nice. It'll be nice to see Destiny and Tiffany try to get on one accord on their own. Okay. They discussed, changing your expectations of your friendships, because, Letitia had expected Kimmy to take her side when she was beefing with Melody. And so Destiny, I'm assuming, is feeling the same way. Then they get onto the Marceau thing and his depression. Letitia basically realizes that she's seen a disconnect between her and Marceau, but she just figures she needs to suck it up. We're going to come back to this because she has a therapy session later on in the episode. And we'll get into that. December says, exactly. So how are they doing business when the businesses were filed under bankruptcy? I don't know. See, that's the thing that's curious for me, because I don't really know how bankruptcy works. I mean, there was a period of time that when I was in LA, I'm telling you, I was broke as a joke. I had thought about bankruptcy as well, but I think that my financial situation was probably a lot more dire in my head and so it did not require a bankruptcy. And I definitely did not have all these businesses and such. So I don't really know the protocol for how bankruptcy works when you are married and getting a divorce and dissolving businesses. I don't know how that works. Y'all silly. Okay, so Martell and Marceau get together. They chat about the 47 acres. Now, essentially, what was underscored in this conversation was that Martell was really visiting Marceau so that he could get Marceau's backing to help him get these buildings built, I guess, on the commercial side and maybe on the residential side for the 47 acres. I was kind of unclear. Martell is still upset about Chris going to Melody about the land. And Martell says that he wants to partner with Marceau since he has a builder's license. I swear this man spent a little bit more time on his studying for his builder's license exam or certification or whatever the case may be, and out rather than being out here in these streets trying to get the kids and everything like that, then I think he might be in a better position to start doing business. But at the end of the day, what he might want to work on first is fixing that credit. But we're going to talk about that in just 1 second. Stephanie says they could have filed bankruptcy on Holt and Holt business. Who knows? Wish them well. I mean, yeah, and we do wish them well. We want them to succeed because, we rooting for, we definitely rooting for our people of color. So we want, we definitely want them to succeed. But it's just curious to see how this whole situation has been playing out. Anyway, Martell mentions that when Chris asked Mel about the land, she told him to talk to Martell first. But when he talked to Mel, he says that she said that she might build the land on it. So Marceau asked Martell, well, how did you go into the discussion? Were you being your normal arrogant self? And so Martell smiles and he acts like he doesn't recall. And this is my issue with Martell. Martell is typically his worst enemy. He himself is his own worst enemy. I think that he thinks it's cute for him to run around and be arrogant and have, have Mel wrapped up in these, crazy arguments and conversations like that. And I think that his focus is so much on that and holding the cards over her and whomever he's dating or whatever he's doing, that I feel like he just gets in his own way of the progress that he could be making again with his credit and his builder's exam, right? So Marceau asked Martell would he consider working with Mel on the project, as he should, because in my mind, that money at least would go back to, helping out with the kids. They can share in that wealth because they do still, listen, the bottom line is this with this situation. Mel and Martell are pretty much at the core of this show. I'm talking about with, I think, production or whatever like that. I think they were the ones who came to the table with the show. So in some respects, in my mind, they got to have some type of ownership in the show. So if you can have this togetherness in the show, then you definitely could have some togetherness in this land. But from what it seems like is that Martell is saying that he would be willing to work with Mel on the project. But at the end of the day, you still at Marceau's place trying to get him to back you because he got a builder's license and you don't, and Melody does. So Marceau is worried, rightly so, about being involved in the Holt and Holt drama, as he should be. And in walks Chris Fletcher. Now, the idea is that Marceau, allegedly, for what they said, okay, that Marceau and Martell will be on the commercial side and Melody could be on the residential side. Chris thinks that they can all work together and be adults. I don't know if he know who he's talking about, though. Destiny meets with Tiffany at the bar, okay? Now, Tiffany, we learned, was hesitant about meeting up with Destiny. Destiny thinks that Tiffany has a smart mouth. And Tiffany, Tiffany has this personality where she is almost like she will say something smart to you and then act like she don't know who said it, right? We've seen her do this time and time again. So when Destiny tells her, hey girl, I feel like your mouth is a little too smart for me, Tiffany's kind of like, well, I have a smart mouth. Who has a smart mouth? Where's a smart mouth? Who said that? And it's like, girl, we have seen you. Rewind the tapes. You are in the position that you are in because of your mouth. Okay. So anyway, Tiffany challenges Destiny to think about how she came into the group. And Destiny does have to reflect, or at least production does, on how Tiffany, when Destiny came into the group, she had issues with Kimmy. Now, her issues with Kimmy, while I felt like were a little bit I'm going to poke this bear so I can get some attention on this show. And I hate to say it, but I did feel like they was trivial. I felt like what Destiny did not do was come at Kimmy's past or try to embarrass Kimmy in such a way. She tried to embarrass her now, don't get me wrong, when she brought up that chicken thing when she was giving that little speech. But I do feel like I agree with Destiny, a difference between the way Destiny came at Kimmy and the way that Tiffany came at Destiny. And it was definitely on some messy stuff, right? So Destiny wants to know, well, girl, everybody else's dirt, and you willing to put everybody else's dirt on the table. What's your dirt? What you got? Because you're supposed to be so transparent, and I ain't seen it yet, but you're supposed to be so transparent. Tell me something about you. So Tiffany goes into, her past. She begins with, well, girl, my name ain't really Tiffany. Okay. My real name was Jamie Lynn Payne, okay? And we learned that she was given up by her biological mother because she was biracial. That's so interesting to me because in my mind, it's so hard it's weird to think. Now, I know she can't help what her parents do. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, the mama or whoever, didn't you know you were sleeping with somebody of another race when you did it? So why? And I get it, it was a different time, but it just boggles my mind. What was happening? Why didn't what? Because now you got a child and you got to give the child up, but you're giving the child up because they biracial. Well, that's what happens when you lay down with somebody of another race. They're going to be of two different races, okay? Logic, I guess, is where I am in today's world, but back in the day, I understand it. I definitely understand it. It ain't right, but I understand the mentality of people back in the day. Anyway, she goes into they kind of bond over their upbringing, and Tiffany finally apologizes for bringing up LeBaric at Destiny's birthday brunch. Destiny accepts and apologizes for threatening to drag Tiffany when they was in Vegas. And Tiffany lets her know that she'll make another mistake, so just call her out on it. And Tiffany, I am quite sure you will, okay? And I'm quite sure Destiny will call you out on it, okay? Unless Melody interjects, okay? She then invites Destiny to her and the man. What's the man's name? Lewis. She invites Destiny to her and Lewis's anniversary party. They're having a whole lot of events to be so new. I mean, they just got married in Vegas, remarried, recommitted in Vegas. Now they got an anniversary. It's a lot going on with them. I'm here for it, though. At least they're letting us into their marriage, okay? Because I feel like if you're going to be on the show, let us into your life. Destiny. Anyway, Melody stops by to see Chris Fletcher, okay? I just read a comment. Y'all so silly. Melody has decided that I'm going to focus more on me, okay? She is not going to worry about what Martell thinks about any of her actions because she's going to focus on feeding her family and her kids. So that's going to be her prime focus right now, is getting to the money. And so they recap what happened when Martell and Chris had their little confrontation because Martell had gotten mad that Chris had gone to Melody about, participating in the 47 acres. And Melody had said at the time, well, you need to talk to Martell first. So Martell got mad about that. So they recapped that. And Mel reflects on the fact that they both purchased the 47 acres. And it feels wrong for Martell to want to cut her out of the deal. So she's learning that. Oh, well, I'm going to get to that in 1 second. She says that she's not just interested in building 2 or 3 lots on that 47 acres. She's looking for more than that. And she wants some generational wealth for them kids and herself, right? So that's when Chris relays that there was a meeting between Martell and Marceau and himself, and Melody wants the tea. Basically, Martell, from her perspective, was vouching for Marceau for the general contracting since Marceau has a builder's license. Now, to a certain degree, I feel as though Martell is kind of grasping at straws because he himself does not have a builder's license, nor at this point does he have the credit score to be able to dip and do in the real estate world as he once was accustomed to doing. Now, what is happening is it feels like, from what I'm seeing on the screen, he is grasping at whatever straws he can get, i.e., well, let me get with Marceau because he got a builder's license, even though we just got back on the good foot together. And Melody realizes that, and she's like, you would rather go and partner with somebody that you just got back cool with than partner with or work with me, who has been the person that has been holding you down and taking care of your kids. You would rather take money out my pockets and put it someplace else. That's where you at with this. So she's annoyed and incensed, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to take my bid on this land and I'm going to do it myself. And we're going to play chess. We're going to play the long game with this man and not checkers. Okay. It's an interesting situation to me. And I find that it is on the level of like a dynasty or something like that because of the way they are kind of all moving and trying to shake in this real estate game down in Huntsville. The land in Huntsville is probably, it's got to be fertile. And I personally feel like, do I need to take myself down to Huntsville and buy some land myself? Because I feel like it is popping down there the way they make it seem. But that's just me. I think in my mind, again, because they are obviously, working together with this show, I would think that he would logically want to work with Mel anyway, because obviously that food will go back. I mean, that, you putting, when we're talking about putting a bag on the table, we're talking about, you got 4 kids with her. She wasn't just somebody that you was dating or married to. She was somebody that's going to be raising, at least for the majority of the time, your kids. So I would want to be able to say, okay, let us both make this money. We might not agree on where we at on how we end it, but we can definitely agree on getting this bag. And that's what I feel like they should be doing. Sir Capricorn says Martell clowning Mel, but she had an exit strategy in case he messed up further and he didn't have one. Messed up his life and fumbled his bag. Team Mel. I agree with you. It does feel like she had a strategy for how she chose to move. And I would also say that she probably had a team of people, because at least it seems like she has a team of people that she works with that kind of maybe help her along the way. And it don't feel like Martell has that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that super chat. More Candle Company says 47 acres in the comeback group. Nothing takes 5 years to get off the ground. I mean, it still ain't happening yet. So anyway, Maurice is having a meeting with Martell. And Maurice I've probably been noticing the signs that Martell might be a little overly stressed as well. And listen, I think if you got a bankruptcy, and your credit is bad, trust me, I've definitely been there with the credit. So I know it's a hard thing. It's a hard, because when your credit is bad, what you want to it limits your capacity to operate in to move and shake in a way that is really that would really help you financially. Like it's hard to build more when your credit is bad, right? So Maurice, as we know, runs Credit One, which is, I guess, the credit company that he manages. But he was also on the phone with a general manager. I don't know if y'all saw that part where he was on the FaceTime with the general manager, and the general manager was kind of going at him like, "You trying to say that I'm dropping the ball?" And he got off the phone with her real quick. I wanted to see more of that conversation. But anyway, Maurice is running a law firm and a credit company. Martell got the bad credit, so he is going in to get some assistance with this. Again, this to me was such a great conversation, because it's nice to see, especially, 2 Black men having a conversation, one black man is having to put his ego to the side to really be transparent with not only his friend, but which we know is hard. Chime down in the chatterization if you could actually have that conversation with one of your friends, because I would wager that a lot of times when you got bad credit, you want to keep it to yourself because it's embarrassing, right? So for him to be that transparent with Maurice and then to also be that transparent with the camera and with production and with the audience, I just felt like that was such a pivotal moment for this show. And it was just nice to see Maurice in action and just explaining to him how the credit process works, because Martell is wanting to get back in the real estate game and dip and do like he was used to. But what we have found is that it is going to take 2 years before a bank will lend him the type of money that he's looking to get in order to start, again, dipping and doing in the real estate world. So he's going to have to take the time to rebuild that credit first. And I love that conversation, because unless you have been through the credit repair process, I mean, if you always had good credit, I salute you, because I think that's amazing. But for those of us who have gone through the downtrend and had to work our way back up, you know that it takes a strategy and it takes time. And I think that, again, them highlighting that in a conversation is going to do so much for our community. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yvette says, my friend know my situation. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's very, very tough. And I cannot applaud them enough. I may not like everything that Martell does, but I just thought that this was such a good scene. More Candle Company says, I do it for people and it can happen with patience and rebuild. You can do it. Yep. It takes patience. It takes patience. That's Maurice's little sister. She's his manager. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Maurice also wants to talk about the level of stress that they're all under, specifically the black men in the group. Well, not really just the black men, just the men in the group in general. And he's explaining to Martell that he wants to go to therapy. And Martell sort of says, well, if you find somebody, I will take a look at it. And if we vibe, then I'll do it. I didn't get the sense that Martell had really bought into the therapy idea. I will have to see it to believe that it was actually happening. But that's just me based on how he sounded in the episode. Now, Letitia, for the last scene, goes in to meet with Dr. Francis for therapy. Now, she feels like she's burnt out from the kids, the housework, helping to run 3 businesses, and the extra child she has that is named Marceau. Okay. She reflects that she was raised by women that catered to men. So she was used to seeing that happen. It would be like her grandmother, I think she said, would not even allow any of the men in the house into the kitchen, and her grandmother would take care of, I guess her grandfather, or that's just what she saw in general. She also, so Dr. Francis wants to know, well, are you continuing that trend? And she admits that marriage and kids were not originally even part of her plan. She says the life that she's living wasn't her plan, and also that she realizes that Marceau is depressed. So in this situation with the two of them, you have Marceau being in depression because he feels like he's having to work so much to provide for her. He also feels like he's working hard to provide for all the material things that she allegedly wants. Now, she too admits that she wants a lot of things, okay? A lot of the material things and the trips and stuff like that. Because what she is used to in her family is receiving gifts. That is how they express their love language. They give gifts to each other, and that's how they show love. Because we also learned that her mama and the people, her family, they don't say they love you. And this is, again, why I try to end most of my lives by saying I love you, because what I want y'all to do is become, or to get in the spirit of, or to start to normalize saying those words to your friends, to your family, because so many of us in our community grew up not hearing those words, right? And Letitia gave the perfect example of this happening and how it has affected her. So now she expects the gifts, and she almost doesn't hear Marcel say that he loves her because she's really looking for the gifts. However, Dr. Francis points out, is Marceau holding you hostage to his depression by blaming all his working hours on the fact that he needs to provide you gifts? This is a very complex situation right here. And actually, it is one where they both need to be present for in order for them to fully resolve it. But we can't deal with that right now because Marceau is probably somewhere working and digging in the 47 acres or whatever else they are trying to build on Scott Manor or whatever the case may be. All right. She recaps him not wanting. Okay. Amen. Say it, baby. Say it, Danette. Say it. She recaps him not wanting to do the vow renewal in Vegas. And when Dr. Francis asked, well, did you express that you was disappointed in this? And she has to admit that she did not say it. She did not verbalize that to him, probably in a way that he would actually hear her. But as we know in the conversation earlier, she basically said she feels like Marceau is her extra child who just doesn't even listen to her. She says at least her other children, they listen to her. Anyway, she then brings up these rumors. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. My ear is not that to the streets when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville outside of what I see on social media, like when I'm scrolling through. But I know I follow Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's a Instagram site on it's an Instagram page, and then I follow Original Straight No Chaser, which is also another Instagram page that kind of follows what's going on with them. But it almost feels to me that the person who is bringing up these rumors the most is Letitia. Now, I don't see everybody else running to and fro talking about this and bringing it up a la Giselle. You know how Giselle will bring up something 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, okay, on camera to make sure it's heard, to make sure the subject is talked about. But I don't see nobody else bringing up these rumors but Letitia. Now, I don't know, but again, it could just be me because my head ain't to the streets on this. I got too many other things to focus on, too many other shows that I'm trying to focus on as well. So is that just me? Because I feel like she brings it up all the time. Anyway, there you go. You just explained it to me in one succinct statement. Nola Flav says because Wanda is in Letitia's ear. Okay. I'm going to let it go. There you go. I think we just said it right there. Okay. I think we just said it. Don't get me started on Family or Fiance. Baby, that show. If I was to try to cover that show, I don't think I would tear out all of my hair and my beard. Okay. So anyway, she brings up the rumors and him feeling like she should know that there's no truth to it. And Dr. Francis said, well, the truth, and I want y'all to remember this. He said the truth needs no defense. And I was like, oh, that's a revelation right there. But at the end of the day, clearly she needs some reassurance because she don't know whether, I feel like this. She feels like Marceau is not doing enough to put a stop to these rumors. And Dr. Francis basically says, girl, how are you going to determine whether or not he's lying? What's going to be good for you to know? Because what is he going to say to you that's going to make you either believe him or not? Because clearly you don't believe him right now. So what are you going to do? What needs to happen? That's what I want to know too. What needs to happen? Tell me what needs to happen. Because either you're going to believe him or you don't. And if you're going to believe him, you're going to have to put a stop to your family coming to you with all these rumors. Bottom line, you're going to have to save your sanity some kind of way. That's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for our chat for Love and Marriage Huntsville. As you guys know, Potomac will be out tonight at 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time, and then followed by Real Housewives of Salt Lake City tomorrow around 11:30. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac. And then at 2 p.m., we will be reviewing Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with Adam from Up and Adam. Listen, if nobody told y'all today, you already know it, baby. I love you. Tell somebody else you love them today. Normalize. Let's pick this up in our community. Let's spread it around like wildfire because I feel like it's so important. Make sure you guys tune in and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I will catch you guys in the next video.